One, two, three. Welcome back, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, to the super, not funny show reviews. And today I'm reviewing Velma, episodes 3 and 4, entitled Velma, Kai, and Velma Makes a List. It's coming to you from HBO Max. So, what did I think about it? And should you be watching? Before we get into the review, get down there, hit the like button on this video. Yes, I'm doing more Velma reviews. Watching it so you don't have to. And so, do me a solid and, show me some love for this. Either way, Velma, the show that gets no love and gets lots of hate and lots of people going on about it on the internet. But I'm not trying to hate watch this. It's really more trying to see if it can get better than it was. So I can report that, yes, it does get better. Somewhat. It gets somewhat better. So, I'm not going to recap the show too much just because it's a lot going on. But basically, in the third episode, they decide that, hey, the girls are being attacked. Therefore, we're going to have to, teach the girls self-defense. And as Velma says, well, why don't you teach the boys not to be murderous, terrible and murderous? Valid point, but that wouldn't make a funny episode. So what you essentially get is a bunch of girls, high school girls, being taught in the worst possible way by Daphne's horribly incompetent detective mothers how to defend themselves, which is essentially just go limp. And then it turns into a tournament to see who can be the least, pathetic or defenseless person possible. And it turns into just like a competition between Velma and Daphne because they haven't quite resolved what went on with their kiss and everything and how they like each other, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All that stuff is going on. Meanwhile, Shaggy is, on behalf of Velma, is going to try to get clues or information from Fred because she's not allowed in because she had a weird panic attack / hallucination that got her banned from the prison, and so she has to go. He has to go, and he uses his. He wants to be a counselor like his dad, who we find out his dad is the school counselor and his mom is the principal of the school. But by using a special technique, basically putting on a cardigan, it gets people to automatically open up to him. So he goes to the prison and talks to Fred and everything and gets information. And then the C plot is that, Fred later on and a bunch of inmates escape from prison or whatever. That goes on. And I mean, that episode was actually not bad. Like, I'm to be perfectly honest, it was entertaining enough. It was funny. There was character advancement. You learned a little bit more about Daphne. Daphne is more likable in this episode than she was in the previous two. Velma is slightly more so, but she still is pretty unlikable as the main character. Like Velma, she's got all these ideas set in stone, and then about the world and our opinions about the world, and then they keep being shown to be kind of stupid and that she's kind of the asshole. Like this, I feel like this show is just like Mindy Kaling saying, "What? Let's do a Am I the Asshole show where Velma is the asshole and she's slowly learning that she's an idiot, or she's not the good guy, she's the bad guy." And that seemed to be a lot of that going on, to the point where she literally just reads out of Daphne's diary some stuff, and she thinks that people are going to laugh and think it's funny because since she's been shit on and picked on, that shitting on and picking on somebody else will make everybody like her and dislike the other person. It's ridiculous. And again, Velma kind of sucks, but at least she's learning she sucks. Like I said, there's funny stuff in here. I laughed. I did laugh. I wish Shaggy or Norville, whatever, was a little more interesting. But the way he, the inmates and everything, they're very quite funny. Fred being kind of his man baby self in prison was funny, and when they broke out, that was fun. The tournament with the girls, I mean, it was ridiculous, but also still funny. And seeing Daphne sort of wild out on people, that was cool. And then at the very end, it was cute and sweet that Velma and Daphne, they're not trying to fuck each other or date or whatever. They're just going to be friends. Cool. So then we get to the next episode. Velma makes a list. And it kind of does away with some of that goodwill that I just had, because about half of the episode is good, or at least maybe not good is not the word. Half of the episode is watchable, kind of funny, advances the story. This is in this one they start out like, yeah, it's been 2 weeks and no one's been murdered, and then there's a murder. And then they let Fred out because Fred was found guilty and put to prison. And then obviously, if that happened, he couldn't have done it, which, comic book logic or whatever, because that doesn't mean anything. Could be a copycat, but whatever. They let him out. And, Velma's still sort of sorting out her feelings about, she's sorting out her feelings like, do I like girls? Do I like boys? Do I just like, because she still likes Fred and she still likes Daphne. That the only person she doesn't want to fuck apparently is the one person that wants to fuck her, which is kind of part of the plot for this episode, because Norval desperately wants to find out why she likes Daphne, so he wants to go ahead and follow Daphne around to figure out why he's trying to make his list of how he can change himself so that Velma will like him. And so that kind of leads to them, hanging out and going around and he's trying to help her find like her biological parents or whatever. And it leads to them sort of, getting because she get a note from the killer, and he wants to take her around to the abandoned amusement park to see, why who this person might be that may know her. And there's a funny little bit where she's just like, let's go in with me. She's like, nah, I'm not going in there because that's stupid. And I'm not, like, they're part of this show is trying to subvert the tropes and the expectations. He's like, nah, I'm not going to this haunted, amusement park. And she's like, well, I'll go by myself. Like, well, you go do that, but I'm leaving right now. And then she decides not to go in because, again, it's stupid. And it goes back to some of the tropes of the original show. All right, cool. That's fine. We learned some good stuff about Daphne and her background and why she wants to find her parents, and that how it's connected to Crystal Cove. There's some unnecessary history that no one gives a fuck about. But the rest of it, the main part is that Velma is sort of tasked with making a hot girls list because the incompetent police and the mayor think that the killer's just targeting hot girls. And so she's got to pick the 5 hottest girls, and then she decides to sort of teach them how to be not hot and not cool and not live up to expectations and all that other stuff. And she kind of gets a talking to about her feminism and how it's kind of shallow, and it doesn't allow women to be whoever they want to be, whether they want to be sex pots or frumpy or whatever the hell, anywhere in between that. Again, it's the am I the asshole effect. She's pretty much being shown, hey, I'm the asshole, when she's making this list and everything. And it leads to, and the problem I have with this episode, where it all falls down, is that they beat that fucking drum over and over again. Like, that particular drum of subverting that expectation, and they subvert the subversion of the expectation, and they subvert the subversion of the, and it's like, it's just like, elephants all the way down with that. And it gets tiresome. It's extremely tiresome. And not fun. Even there, and it leads to like a bit where she has to use her non-sexiness, and the girls have to use their sexiness to kind of help with her, her dad's girlfriend having a baby, and it's just tiresome. And it reinforces, like, man, I don't like Velma as a person. She's not cool. So not cool as in, like, popular, but as not cool as in not a good person. There's also a kind of fun little bit where Fred inadvertently wises up and stops being all the way shitty and man baby by reading a book about feminism and stuff like that. And it like he literally like he's not an idiot because he reads this 400-page book and it changes his thought process and suddenly he's into Velma. And which is, she rejects him, but still, but he's into her because of her in what's on the inside and what's on the outside, which is weird to me because on the inside of Velma is kind of an asshole, a judgmental, short-sighted, kind of shallow thinking. Thinks she's got it under control, but doesn't really, sort of, just damaged ass. That's what she. And it shows, and he somehow thinks she's. It's just weird. But I will say this about these episodes: I do like every character except Velma more than I did before. Except the peripheral characters. Who gives a damn about them? They still suck. But like the main mystery gang, they're better than they were before, and Velma still sucks. So anyway, there's a long-winded way of saying the show's better, but that's not saying a lot because it was pretty bad at the start. So it's improved from really bad to just like, barely tolerable, if that. And an improvement is an improvement. It's enough that I'm like, okay, I'll come back, but I really don't care about the mystery. And the only thing I'm really sort of interested in is what's going on with Velma's mom and who are Daphne's parents. That's about it. Everything else I could do without. Anyway, those are my thoughts on these two episodes. What did you guys think about it if you braved these episodes? What did you guys think about what I had to say? Get down to the comment section, leave your thoughts there, and of course you can always hit me up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com or at supernotfunnys1 on Twitter. And do me a favor, get down there, hit like, subscribe, and the notification bell. All that good stuff helps with the channel, helps more people to see these videos. All right, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, thanks for joining me. Come back next week. I will reluctantly, but actually watch episodes 5 and 6 of Velma. Till then, I've been Mo Le Poupée, resident fabricant and comic extraordinaire on all things pop culture. And I'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.